Okay, everybody, this is season 1, episode 3 of Better in Heels. I'm Antonia Pasalacqua.
I'm Carolina Erlandsen, her mom.
And we are your hosts. And today,
We are going to
the
talk.
tea is piping hot.
We're going to talk about relationship and boyfriends.
Toxic ones. Toxic ones specifically. This is, who the F did I date?
Yeah.
This is part 1 of who the F did I date.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Even though, okay, one thing about me is that when I go through something, this was actually really traumatic.
Yeah, it was. But I think everyone.
But my mom remembers every single detail, so we're very happy to have her today to remind me of the BS that I went through in my 20s.
I mean, the BS you
one
went
particular
through.
man.
My gosh, yeah. I think everybody. They say. I heard once saying that we human beings go through 3 stages of love, and the first one, is your first love, where you're so that like. Your first love, you hold hands, and the puppy love. That's how they call it, the puppy love. And then the second one is this dramatic one, the suffering. That, you hit the door and you cry.
That was this one.
Exactly. And the third one is definitely the more mature, where you feel calm, where you feel at peace, where, those are the 3 stages. And of course, she went through every single stage, for sure.
Okay, so who was my puppy love?
Your first puppy love?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you probably have a crush at school.
Okay, yeah. And then this was the narcissistic, dramatic type of love. So should we start from the beginning?
Yeah, I start from the beginning.
Okay, so Antonia,
Okay.
what's that noise?
I don't know. Something outside. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. I got distracted. It's 2019, January 2019. Antonia, I think I just turned 21.
You were doing. I remember you were doing your internship.
Well, I moved to Washington, D.C. to do an internship in Washington, D.C. because I was...
Don't say places, don't say names, don't say anything.
No. We're not going to say anyone's name, anyone's place, but I was...
I remember
in policy, but no, I need to start how we met.
No, but let me
she wants to add
if
something.
I'm right, because I remember you were doing your internship and you called me once saying.
So it's the middle of the internship program. I moved to DC. That's the story.
Right, and you called me one that.
This is chaotic because we both have ADD.
You're saying that you met this guy who actually was your supervisor.
He wasn't my supervisor. Okay.
Relationships between supervisor and intern were totally forbidden.
Okay, he was not my supervisor.
No,
number one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm an intern in this program, and then he was a associate in another program. He wasn't my supervisor. I wasn't in the same program as him. But I met him because I was trying to look for a job on Capitol Hill. I wanted to get my years in on Capitol Hill to get that under my belt, whatever. And I was introduced to him by the director of the internship because obviously he had, before this associate job, had been on the Hill working. And then he introduced me. And, typical, very handsome man, Italian. He definitely had swagger, I guess.
Yeah. And charming, because
very
he
charming,
has a good personality.
Charming. So
socially good personality.
Yes. So then I would make excuses for him to look at my resume, blah, blah, blah. You know how that flirting goes when you're an intern, you're hustling. And then that program ends. The intern program ends. Nothing ever happened between us as I was an intern, but the intern program ends. And I remember you were in DC for Easter.
Yeah.
My mom was in DC for Easter, and it's like right after the program ends. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I add him on social media? Should I not? Blah, blah, blah. And then I added him on Snapchat.
Snapchat. Do people use that one?
I don't use Snapchat anymore, but he definitely had Snapchat. I definitely used Snapchat back then. So I added him on Snapchat, and we started talking. And then we went on a first date. And the first date was, as you would expect a charming man first date to be. It was like the first dates you read about which is key. This is key detail to our relationship. It was like a first date that you read about in these like love story books. It always was
Yeah, everything was like super perfect.
Super
charming,
perfect, super
super
charming.
respectful guy.
We had so much in common. He was Italian. I was from Chile. So just like,
with an
culturally
Italian last
Catholic.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the background, Catholic background, and super very family was super
oriented.
important.
Yes, yes, super important family. And then so we start dating. I guess. Well, because I look back at the relationship, I'm just like, that was such BS. But anyway, in my head, we
because he
dating.
always found an excuse to say we cannot tell anyone that we're dating. That was my first red flag.
We start dating. No, the first red flag was that at the time I didn't see it as a red flag because I had my,
Antonia she didn't see any freaking red flag, and it was plenty of red flags.
I remember when it was like the first month of us dating, and we go hang out with his friends who coincidentally were also obviously his friends from the same organization that I had interned with that worked at this organization. He was like, so are you ready to act like a homie?
¿Qué quiere decir eso? What is that? Homie.
Like before he went to go hang out with his friends, he looked at me and goes, oh, are you ready to act like a homie and not a girlfriend? Like a friend and not a girlfriend.
No way.
Yes,
you didn't tell me that because this is the thing with stupid people. This is the thing. It's so easy when you're in a toxic relationship or when you're so in love with someone to lie to yourself. And those things you are like, put it under the rag because it's like under the carpet. That's how you say it? Under the carpet, because it's like, oh, I was just saying. No. That was a huge red flag
Huge red flag, but I was like...
But you ignore it.
I ignored it because I was like... Because then he would also twist it and say how he wanted to be private and he likes being private. Because that's how you protect a relationship, by being private.
What?
By being from outside opinions, by being private.
Yeah.
Which now that I'm in a healthy relationship, I'm just like, that's such BS.
It is and I told you, that's such a BS.
He would say things like that would tell me... Okay, then, I just need to act like cool, calm, and collected and as a friend, blah, blah,
and
blah.
you did it? You did it. You were like, oh, I
tried my best. I mean, I don't have a poker face. I tried my best, obviously. But people, like, eventually caught on that we were talking. And then the program ends in April. And we are talking through, like, April, May, June. June comes around. Or is it July that comes around? I start a new job, like my first salary job. I'm so excited to stay in DC. I start my first salary job. He starts a new job too. He leaves that organization that we met at. He starts a new job. So then we start obviously talking more. And in my head, I'm like, this is my dream. Oh my gosh, the best relationship ever, blah, blah. Smooth sailing. And then he comes and says that he is going to go get his MBA in Italy. He is going to leave to Italy at the end of the summer to go get his MBA. Incredible opportunity, I think.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for him.
I don't know if it served him much, looking back, but incredible opportunity. Whatever, like go to Italy, do your MBA. And then this is when things kind of start going down big time.
Because he has so many rules that I never understood. Okay. And I told you, this is not okay. But of course, as a mother, I couldn't say much because if I would say much, she wouldn't tell me anything. Even though I said, oh my gosh, this is so, so wrong because she's buying whatever he's saying. And that happens. That happens with narcissists. They convince you so
big mad
easy.
Still to this day. But okay, let's start because you definitely remember details. So
I remember
before
details.
He leaves to Italy, what were the rules that he would tell me?
The first rule was I'm going to Italy and
Mind
we cannot.
If my mom knows this, it's because I tell her everything when it comes to my dating life. Like she knows it all. So
first rule was I'm going to Italy because I'm going to do my MBA. And I said, Antonia, you should support him on that. I think it's a great opportunity. Every good girlfriend, support their boyfriend. And you say, okay, you go, it's your future, it's your study, do it. But his rules were, I'm leaving and we cannot talk at all. You cannot call me, you cannot text me, we cannot
Some telenovela shit, I swear.
I mean, and it was, why is that? And Antonia said, oh, well, because he wants to dedicate 100% to his MBA. Yeah, that's fine.
Not
but
okay.
I
Like,
mean,
literally, what?
you can talk or you can say, hey, how's your day going? How was your week? No, nothing. He forbid me. He says that's the thing. He forbid me because he always was putting the rules, and you have to do what I say. And if I want to talk to you, I will reach out to you.
Yeah, he's like, if we're going to talk, it's because I'm going to reach out. And he had all these rules, and he laid them out before he left to Italy to make sure that we would not talk at all while he was in Italy. And then, okay, so he leaves to Italy, right? And I remember it wasn't even like a week that he had been gone. And I was like, obviously my heart, I would had so much anxiety because I wanted to talk to him so bad.
It was exactly the same week he left. I remember 2 days later, he left and he called you. And actually I was thinking, okay, let's say this guy wants to be 100% into Italy, live that experience, whatever. Maybe he's not ready for a relationship. Everything is understandable.
But you know what? He always would be, to save himself and make sure that he was always being upfront and honest. He would treat me like quote unquote, treat me like a girlfriend. But then when it was convenient for him, he would make sure that I wouldn't think that we were in a relationship.
Exactly.
Like, and he would be like, no, you're not my girlfriend. Even though every day he would.
He treats you like that. So everything it was about him and what was convenient for him. But at the beginning, I was okay. He's right, and I said to Antonia, respect that. He needs to live that experience in Italy. I understand that. And when he come back, because it wasn't like a year or so. It was like 6 months. Probably the MBA wasn't that long.
No, the MBA program was a year long. But then he left September of 2019, and then COVID happened in March of 2020. So he had to come back early.
Exactly. That was the thing.
But, okay, so then he starts reaching out to me while he's in Italy.
Yeah, the third day. And I thought, okay, Antonia.
And it's like on some dramatic stuff. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about you.
Yeah, he was so
all this
dramatic.
Stuff. I know you're the woman. Like, I literally have read receipts of him saying that he's gonna marry me.
And she believed everything he said.
Him saying that he's going to marry me. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about you, Mrs. And then he puts I'm not going to say his last name, obviously. Mrs. And then he puts his last name, all that stuff. And obviously then I get reeled back in and I'm like, oh my gosh, long distance. My mom's shaking her head.
Yeah, because I said, okay, if he really likes you, he will do whatever to be with you. I don't buy that thing that, it's a distance love. When you like someone and when you love someone, no, you would do whatever it takes to be with that person. Especially men, let me tell you. I'm 54 years old.
Okay, we have to still go on the timeline of this story.
Okay, but I'm not losing the timeline. I'm saying, I told Antonia, if he really cares, he will do whatever. Because men, when they fall in love, they're crazy. They do crazy things. It doesn't matter. They do it. So, and then I start saying, okay, this guy left 3 days later. Well, I told that to Antonia. If it's meant to be.
Because you know me, and I was like anxiety, texting my mom every single, do you think he's going to call me? Do you think he's going to text me?
Exactly.
Like a dumb bee.
And I said this to her, if he really likes you, he will do it, blah, blah, blah. Sure enough, she called me and she says, Mom, he just called me. And he was first day in Italy.
No,
first day in Italy.
First day. It was like third.
Well,
72 hours.
Exactly, something like that. And
it was always the most dramatic thing. Like,
and I remember exactly what he said.
Oh,
the first thing he says to you.
I don't remember.
I do because he says, "Did you move on already?" And 72 hours just passed. And I said, "Oh my gosh, these guys really like you." I mean, I was buying his shit too.
We were all buying his shit for a long time.
Yeah, so I said, oh my gosh.
To be honest.
He really likes you, Antonia. I mean, if he's saying that, it's because he couldn't be there without thinking about you and probably tell you about what he's going through and what he's living. That's a good sign there. But gosh, that wasn't it. This guy was a magician. A magician, because of course I said to Antonia, he wants to live a single life there and go out with any girl, and at least he's saying to her, we don't have any relationship, because but
he would still act like we did.
Exactly, and it was super confusing.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, you allow that. It was your fault because you allowed it. If you were strong enough, and I told you this many times, you should put a stop on this.
Okay, but Mom, we have to keep going on with the story.
Exactly. Well, keep it going. Keep going.
Okay, so he goes to Italy, and then obviously we started talking back and forth. But it was kind of toxic. We were fighting some days.
He loves to fight. He loves to fight. Everything was a good excuse to fight. That's something that narcissists do, guys. So be careful. Listen to this. And be aware. And
be aware of your surroundings, because
exactly.
the dogs are out.
Do not lie to yourself. If you are dating someone with things like that they always find a way to make you feel guilty.
They always, find a way to make me feel guilty.
And it's always your mistake.
And of course, he never liked any of my friends, because obviously my friends were the ones being like, Antonia, hello, dumb B syndrome. Like, come on, this is not how it should be. And I was, my head in the clouds. But so we still talk on and off, obviously, through the rest of the winter. He comes back to the States. I remember specifically it's November of 2019 that I bought my ticket to Italy to go visit him. November of 2019, I go buy my ticket. Because he would always kind of use reverse psychology to
narcissists are so smart, and they have the power of talking.
Yes, and it would always be something along the lines of instead of saying like, I would love you to come visit me, it would always be like, oh, I bet you're not gonna come visit me. Like, make me feel
because you don't care.
Yeah, like you probably moved on. You're gonna marry somebody else. It was always something like that.
See, so always trying to make you feel guilty.
So, and tickets to Italy at the time were like $700.
But she didn't care. It was whatever it takes to go.
At that time, I was definitely not making enough money for me. Like, I think I had $400 in my savings account.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, I'm spending a paycheck to buy myself a ticket to Italy. Like, are you serious? I spent a whole paycheck basically to buy myself a ticket to go see him February for Valentine's Day, right? And at this point, we had already gone to so many fights about him being with other women, about all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. I buy the ticket, and then it's finally buying the ticket because he basically had convinced me to go and visit him. And then there's like drama that day that I buy the ticket. I remember because he's like, oh, like I'm such a pig, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like he kind of regrets me buying the ticket. But anyway.
Of course, because he wanted to have fun by himself and go out with any girl.
Even though he used reverse psychology to con me into getting this ticket to go visit him in February in Italy. So then at this point, I'm counting down the days. I'm like saving up all of my money, literally all of my money, because I did not make that much at that time. Saving up all of my mom's shaking her head this whole time I'm telling honestly, this story. Saving up all of my, and this isn't even the worst of it. This is just the beginning. Saving up all my money to go to Italy and go see this. So February 14, 2020 comes. It's right before COVID. I go visit him in Italy for almost 2 weeks, and I am literally, it was a really awesome trip, I will say.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it was a fun. At least I think in every bad situation you have something good to take from.
Like this trip was awesome. He did show me everything and anything, he was super, and all that stuff.
Yeah, he was super chivalry. You say
super chivalrous.
He take you everywhere, show you all about Italy,
showed me all of Italy,
which you need to be grateful.
But then I knew he was definitely having sex with other girls.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, Antonia, don't even say that because now I'm gonna get mad at you.
Oh well. Anyway, I'm at his, because he had an apartment in Rome, so I'm at his apartment, and there's like a stack of boxes, and then there was like a whole box of these like condoms that I had never seen before. Yeah.
See, I mean, you didn't tell me that before. This guy was just living the bachelor life, and you, the stupid you, because I didn't raise you like that. I mean, oh my gosh.
No, okay, Mom, the story gets better. So I find, and it's literally like wasn't even hidden. It was like a box of Magnum condoms, and
Magnum.
His pee-pee was not that big, let me tell you, for those types of condoms. But anyway,
Magnum is a brand. Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's a brand. Magnum condoms.
You can sponsor us, Magnum.
And I'm like, what like, what is, like,
Why
I've never
do you
seen
need all
these.
this?
Yeah, like, what is this? And he's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. My brother got it for me as a joke because he knew you were visiting. Blah, 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 ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, right. And you, the stupid, bought that.
It was an empty box of Magnums, and I never saw the actual condoms.
Estaba empty?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you're so dumb, Antonia. I mean, really? Really?
Yes.
Oh
I'm telling you this.
I can't believe
And
it.
then we're in Rome and we're on the like Metro tram system, and his like instant muscle memory is to open up Hinge in front of me.
¿Qué es lo que no entendí?
A
Translate.
dating app. A dating app.
That's,
In front
no.
of me. Yes.
See,
And
I
he
mean,
was like,
honestly.
he was like, oh, I just opened it up to see your reaction. Ha 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 ha.
Seriously, Antonia, you were so dumb. No, seriously. That is not just one red flag. It's red. He was a walking red flag. And you didn't want to see anything. Those
No,
things you
and
didn't
then I
tell me.
remember,
Because you
okay.
justify everything.
And then this is also another memory from that trip that I have, where actually he took me to Florence with his brother and his sister-in-law, and it was an awesome trip. Like, I had a great time, and I remember I was like, oh my gosh,
and his family was amazing. So
his
that
family
thing.
was incredible. So there's that. I'm going to get him a gold chain necklace with my initial on it. I'm so stupid.
Oh my gosh.
With my initial on it and like angel wings on the back, which now looking back, that was not a good idea. Angel wings is kind of weird.
Why did you buy angel?
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
show me the angel. You showed me a necklace that I thought it was so tacky. And I
So
told
it
you
was that necklace.
It was, yeah.
yes.
You, oh my God, I told you that's. I don't like it. I didn't like it, and you gave it to him.
And so that was kind of tacky. And I remember, but the whole point was that I was so excited to give him this gift. And now looking back, obviously it was kind of weird. But I was so excited to give him this gift. And then his initial reaction to opening it is to burst out laughing in my face.
That's mean, yeah, because at least he say, "Oh my gosh, thank you
I
very
started
much."
crying.
No way.
Yeah, because I was so embarrassed. And he was like bursting out laughing, and then I started crying because I was like so embarrassed. And then his brother actually had to pull him into a room and was like, "What the heck? Why is she
No
crying?"
way.
Yeah. And that was before Valentine's Day dinner, that he had apologized for all the BS he had put me through the past 6 months, between like the fighting, him obviously
Oh my gosh,
shacking it up with
Antonia,
other women,
seriously.
whatever. Blah,
See,
blah.
I mean, sometimes the problem is not the, we say in Spanish, the problem is not the pig, it's the one that fed it. So,
Yeah.
Antonia, you are my daughter. I love you so much. But the stupid one here
was
it
me.
was you.
Absolutely.
I mean,
So whatever it is.
I cannot believe this girl.
And we're
with the-
talking about somebody I would go to his apartment and clean. Actually, maybe I shouldn't say this, but
No.
I would literally like fold his clothes, do everything that a good woman does.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and I never got anything in return for it.
Not even a thank you?
No, I was be like, oh my gosh, but everything was such like love bombing. You know what I mean? So, and he brought me to visit his nonna on the countryside, and it was always like, I never brought anyone here before in my whole
Like,
entire
you
life.
should be so
I should
grateful
be
of the
so
things
grateful
I
and
do for you.
yes, like I've never done this for anyone. I blah blah blah. So whatever, I leave back to the States, and March comes around. I come back to DC. Obviously, I have post-vacation blues because I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I was in Italy, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID hits, and COVID hit Italy really bad.
Really bad, yeah.
Really, really bad. So then he comes back to the States and does his MBA basically online until he graduated.
Oh, true. He couldn't be. Yeah, I remember
And
that.
then that was the other excuse as to why he would never like really seal the deal, is because he really, was.
He always had an
He always had an excuse.
not to be with you.
Not to
And
be
it
with,
was
yeah.
because he wanted to be with different women. And I know that for sure.
But then he would convince me that he was going to marry me, and he would always like dream about this whole life that we would have together, and then at the end of it would say,
But don't
but like
get that excited
don't
about
get
it.
don't get that excited
Because
about it.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So then COVID comes.
He always confused you. That's what I hated it the most. And I told you that so many times. You should put a stop on this. But she didn't listen. She wanted to live what she wanted to live.
Then COVID comes around. He comes back to the States. We're like obviously talking more now because he's in the States, and obviously not shacking it up with any other random girls because we were on lockdown. So we were talking more and more. And then June comes around, and I still don't know if this is like true to this day, but I had just became a citizen.
Oh, true. I remember.
I just became a citizen. And the thing is, I still had my apartment in DC, but I spent COVID in Iowa with my parents. But I still had my apartment in DC, and because I filed for citizenship in the state of Virginia, I had to go back to go get my certificate. So I literally would like hop into DC for 20 flights were super cheap back in the day, back in COVID. I would hop into DC. I went to my ceremony.
It wasn't really a ceremony. I mean, they
Yeah.
gave it to you
But the next day I leave, and then I send him a picture of like me on a flight, and he's like, "Wait, are you on your way back to Iowa?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I was halfway to come visit you."
What a lie. And the guy was such a lie. I knew that was such a lie, and you believed him because he knew how to sell himself. He always, like a good narcissist, he always liked to look good in front of everyone.
And he was like, "I was halfway to come visit you so we could celebrate your citizenship and blah, blah, blah." And I obviously felt like shit because I really wanted to see him. So I was like, ugh. What the heck? But that now actually I'm remembering another time is, don't you remember that when he left DC, he left a box of his stuff in my house?
Oh, yeah.
He left a box of his stuff in my house.
To be
at my
shipped to
apartment.
his house.
To be shipped to his house.
To his parents' house,
And then we
actually.
had gotten into a fight. We were moving out of my apartment. I was moving into a new apartment in DC. So then I shipped all his stuff back. And then he's like, "Why would you do that? I was going to come. It was an excuse to come visit you." And
Yeah,
like make me
always.
feel bad again.
Right.
An excuse to come visit you. Always like something over the top.
And it's because of you, I'm not going to do it. See, it's
Correct.
always
Yeah.
your fault. Whatever you did, nothing was right. You always did things wrong. And, because whatever he chooses, it was your fault.
Yeah.
So that's what the thing that I hate the most about that relationship. And I told her so many times. And he never, ever wanted to meet us. That
He
was
never
another
wanted to
thing.
meet my family, but he always wanted me to go to his family for I don't know what reason.
I mean, you were in his. I said the reason because seriously, I know she's my daughter and I can be biased, but for him, she was a trophy, and he wanted to show off. Hey, look at the woman that I'm with now in front of his parents and his brother and everything. Because I mean, hello, she's a great woman. She was working, very responsible. Hardworking, intelligent, funny, beautiful. She had it all. Of course, she wants someone like her next to him and his family. His family saying, "Oh, look at him. Look who he is with," right? And I told you that, Antonia, he's using you as a trophy. But of course, she didn't listen. She went through all this. It was hard. I mean, with a few beautiful moments. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was a few beautiful moments. But then this is another thing that was kind of annoying. So Christmas comes around. It's December of 2020 or is it going into 2021 maybe? Remember when I drove 4 hours to go cook this whole ass meal?
Yeah, I think it was the 19th.
No, Mom, that 19 was
the
when
20.
he was in. Yeah.
The 20. It was the 19th because
No,
that
Mom, it
Christmas,
wasn't December 19.
Okay, then you say it was December 2020 after my dad died?
Yes, it was after, because December 19, I didn't see him until February 2020.
Oh, okay, true.
Because February 2020 is when I went to Italy.
Just before
COVID.
Before
So now
they
it's
closed.
COVID. I become a citizen in June of 2020.
Right.
And then that Christmas, he wanted me to like basically reverse psychology again, to come drive from DC to New York, where he's from, to cook his family a Colombian, basically.
Yeah, because his family was visiting and
No, they weren't visiting. He just wanted to show off that I could, because he was talking about arepas with, I guess, his cousins. And then he wanted me to go cook him arepas. I'm from Chile. I don't cook arepas, but I was willing to do whatever he wanted me to. So I drove from DC 4 hours on New Year's Eve, no less, to cook a whole ass meal for his family. But I was not invited to the New Year's party. He wanted me to drive back.
I know, what an asshole,
DC.
Antonia.
And so I go cook his whole family this whole meal.
And then he says goodbye to you.
And
you
then,
can go back.
Yeah, I showed you off. I cooked this whole meal, and then now you can go home. So New Year's Eve actually spent in a car driving back to DC by myself.
You're such a stupid girl. I mean, seriously. What can I tell you? I mean, this is the thing what I said once. Do not marry when you're so blindly in love, because one day you wake up and realize how stupid you were. Because when you're blindly in love, you do things like Antonia did. That type of things. Because when you're blindly in love, you show the best of you. And then one day you realize, oh, okay, he wasn't that wonderful. And that's when everything breaks apart. So.
Well, then it is now 2021. And I don't really know what happened in 2021.
It was, no, and then it was your birthday. I remember that was the last episode.
Yeah, but that was 2022.
Oh, okay.
We have to go.
It was long.
It was long. It is 2021.
Oh, he went back to Italy.
For Easter. And this was the time that, okay, February 2021. Actually, this is where the story gets juicy.
Oh, my gosh.
2021, February 2021, it's Valentine's Day. A year after the Italian Valentine's Day, we decide we're going to go to Miami together.
I remember that.
This is where it gets. So we go to Miami together. And I went to college in Miami, so he wanted me to give him the whole Miami experience.
Yeah, because you were the one who knew Miami.
I was the one who knew Miami, and we went out with my friends. We go to the wharf.
¿Qué es eso?
This like bar thing in Miami, I think like by Brickell or whatever, or Bayside. I don't know what it's called. We go to the wharf, and guess who's there? Elio's there.
Elio, see? I mean, that was God giving you hints.
The incredible man that I'm with right now.
It was God giving you hints and like
so
saying,
Elio,
hey, you will be saved.
Boyfriend met this man at the wharf, and they were talking about Texas with each other, because this dude was also like weirdly obsessed with Texas. I thought it was kind of weird because he's not even from here. And so
and they were talking and all
yeah,
that?
they were like taking shots together.
Oh my gosh. Elio remembers that?
Yes, Elio definitely remembers that, because he says that I always was into short kings.
Oh my God. Yeah, because Elio is
6'2",
so tall.
and then my ex was like 5'10", I think.
Really?
5'11".
So Elio looked at him back, like down.
Elio can look down at anyone because
oh
he's
my
tall.
gosh.
So whatever, it was a fun night, whatever, blah, blah. And then we drive to Naples to go hang out with his family. And it's always the like, you know, how the relationship goes, where always acting like I'm his girlfriend. And
yeah, because he was like, he treated you in front of his family like you were his girlfriend.
Yeah. And then at the time I was going through a job interview with Facebook. And so whatever, I go back to DC. This was like February. I go back to DC. And then obviously we continue to talk. He goes back to New York. I go back to DC. He decides he wants to do Easter in Italy. And I always hated when he went back to Italy, because I always knew that, like, I mean, obviously I knew from very early I could never trust him.
Can you imagine dating someone or going out with someone or loving someone that you cannot trust? Oh my gosh. Guys, if you're going through exactly what Antonia went through, be aware. Maybe this is your call.
This is your sign.
This is your call.
And
this is your sign.
So
Stop
he goes to Italy.
Shit.
He goes to Italy, and then I go to St. Augustine, because then I went to St. Augustine for a bit, whatever. He went to Italy. We got into another fight over him.
Because there's always
something.
a fight.
There was always a fight, whatever, blah, blah. And it was always a fight, then followed with,
every fight, you have to say every fight.
Yeah.
She cried. I mean, she suffered tremendously. And I was like, oh my gosh, Antonia, please stop this. You're like a masochist. Yeah, you're doing this to yourself. Put a stop on this. Take this guy out of your life. But nothing worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did try to date other people. I did try and do that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like live and learn.
But that's key to this story, is that I did try to date other people, because I knew that this relationship, one, he never put a label on it. So, two, would act like I was his girlfriend, but never. Yeah, but never. Then would always like flip the script. And so then I was like, okay, well, if things are going to be so wishy-washy, I'm going to try and date other people. And I did date other people.
But of course, he can't. I mean, every time he.
Like, remember I went on a date with that one dude who told me he was like used to be part of the mafia or whatever.
No. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember
Okay,
that.
maybe I just have a bad rap.
What do you mean
with
those
dating.
crazy guys? I said, oh my gosh, that guy is a liar. I can't believe he was such a
It was like so because I
he
remember
was,
now we're diverting to another story, but in October
he was like Corleone. I'm apellido Corleone, the mafia.
this other dude that I dated, actually from
Godfather.
Miami, yeah, told me that he was like in the mafia, and it freaked me out. And I did like his. He had a great family too, which
my
sucked.
gosh.
I guess I'm into people with really good families. So yeah, that was really weird. So I did try and date other people. Obviously, maybe they also weren't the right people, but I did try and date other people. So it's June of 2021. I go visit Valeria in Miami.
We give names because
Valeria is my best friend. She's on
Okay.
TikTok too.
oh well.
I go visit. She's really not gonna.
Okay.
The only name I'm not gonna say is this dude's name.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So, I go to Miami. We do our Miami girl stuff. You know, we're living the life, whatever, blah blah blah. And then he would always make these like jokes about me like being with other people, and then he would always say that he was making those jokes because that's what he was afraid of.
Ugh.
Isn't that weird?
No, the guy is weird completely. Everything was weird, Antonia.
And so then whatever, I don't know why that detail was in there, but during this time of July, he tells me he's going to move back to DC because he was, trying to find a job in that market. He's end of his MBA is going to try and find a job. He's going to move back to DC. And in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, finally. We're finally going to be able to be together without interruption.
Right.
No
The same
distance. It was
city.
so toxic because it was the distance, same city. He's finally going to seal the deal. So whatever, he comes back to DC. I help him move into his apartment, right? Like it's just me and him. He's moving all his stuff. I help him move into his apartment, do everything. Basically put away his dishes for him. Everything for him.
And then he told you, if you think we're going to be, I remember.
Oh no,
that.
but that's not yet. He asked me if I had tried dating other people during this time of this toxic thing. And I do not have a poker face. So at first I tried to say no because I knew it was going to be
Give
a
a drum.
huge fight. Huge,
Because he has the
dramatic
right to
fight.
do whatever, but you didn't.
Correct. Because he always wanted for me to be a certain type of woman.
Yeah.
And he could do everything, but that I couldn't do anything. And then so at first I said no, but then obviously the truth came out that yes, I did try and date other people, and then it was a whole
And he makes you,
thing.
I believe that.
I
He
thought
makes you
you
feel like
were
a whore completely.
Yes, like and I was texting my mom literally,
And I
like
was
what
like,
do I
this
do?
is
What do I
wrong.
say? He made me feel like literally a whore for trying to date two other people.
And while he was
But
doing
then
who knows
apparently
what.
the problem wasn't that I dated other people, which that was definitely the problem for him. It was the fact that I wasn't upfront about it at first.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he always finds something not to be with you. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I
So-
forgot the best part, the best story. Remember I went to go to Italy again when he went for the
Yeah.
summer. Before he moves to DC, he goes to Italy to say his last goodbyes. Then I also go to Italy, and we had a great trip then too.
Yeah, that
Besides
was
the
fun.
fact that I had
Great pictures.
I literally watched a goat.
Great pictures. So
What?
keep going.
What? It's only 37 minutes.
Yeah, because you need to, the end is super
Oh, the
good.
end is so good. The
So-
end is so good. Okay. So we're in Italy. I literally cannot eat goat to this day because I watched his nonna in the countryside. Literally. A goat, then serve it to me to eat. So I cannot eat goat to this day. And it's not, she would serve you a plate. She would serve you until you would want to vomit. And he would get off on watching me eat like that, which was so weird.
Yeah, no, he likes to torture you.
Yeah.
That's what a narcissist does. They enjoy to see
That
you
was so
suffer.
weird. So whatever, we had an incredible trip, and then the light went out. That's okay. I remember, it's our last day there, and you had to get COVID tested to come back into the States. And I guess his mom didn't know how to do the COVID test. And okay, my mom and I fight all the time, and I do have like bad tone of voice sometimes. But I remember the way he was talking to his mom had my eyes in squares. What's that saying in Spanish?
Yeah, me dejó los ojos cuadrados.
Yeah, I was
Because you don't talk to your mom the way you did it.
in front of me too.
Right.
Like
so
humiliating.
Can you
her.
imagine how he is with himself? So
Correct.
a guy,
Oh, but then we go to his house in the countryside, and this is where condoms come back into play. I see a used condom in the trash can.
Oh
when
my
we
gosh,
get
you're
there.
disgusting. He's disgusting. No way.
Yes, I see a used condom in the trash can. We had just gotten there.
No, that's disgusting. ¿En la casa de la abuela?
No de la abuela, his actual house. And remember how he had a house in the countryside? And so then I asked him about it. And he goes, oh yeah, I had friends. Oh, it was in the master bedroom. He's like, yeah, I had friends over, and one of my guy friends had sex with a girl. I was like, in your parents' bedroom?
Oh my gosh, Antonia, that's disgusting. That's too much.
I think that definitely, obviously, was a lie. He was bringing other girls there, obviously.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyway, so he moves to DC,
and what happened? You were saying something about the COVID test.
Nothing. He was just an asshole.
Oh, the way
to his
he
mom.
talked to his mom.
Are you bored?
No, keep going. Because the end, it's even better.
The end is even better of the whole. Mom, I have to give them a whole play-by-play.
Okay.
I told you this is part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a horrible relationship. So then, which is very cathartic for me, actually. So then he moves to DC, right?
You took care of his apartment.
I took care
and
of his
everything.
apartment, everything. Everything's great. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're so good.
We're gonna have a normal relationship.
We're gonna have a normal relationship. But then, of course, here comes excuses. Now it's not the distance or the fact that he's getting his MBA in Italy. It's now that he doesn't want to be in a relationship until he's 30.
And the guy is like 22.
No, he was like 27 at that time.
I mean, I'm sorry. He was totally messed up.
He didn't want to be in a relationship until he's 30. So then whatever. But then he still acts like I'm his girlfriend. We still act like we're together, boyfriend and girlfriend. And for Christmas, he got me a fake Louis Vuitton, which is very fitting for the type of relationship it was. Very fake.
Everything fake.
Fake Louis Vuitton. Everything fake always. And it just is back and forth drama still, fighting, drama, blah,
and it
blah.
was your birthday.
I remember.
And he planned this surprise birthday.
Oh,
that was the cherry.
One time, he tells me over text how he's had such a stressful week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me bring you like these tacos that I had. And he lived 2 blocks away from me. So I showed up at his apartment. And I'm so stupid because I should have knocked on the door because I texted him telling him that I'm bringing him tacos because he had such a horrible week. And he flipped out. You can't show up here uninvited.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, you can't come without telling me. And I was like, that's weird. And then also another time I see that he has Moroccan oil shampoo in his shower. And I was like, he does not use Moroccan oil shampoo.
Oh my
So I asked him, I'm like, oh, are you trying like a new shampoo? Of course, the answer is yes, because I already answered it for him. He didn't have to make an excuse. Yes. And then days he would ask me to come wash his dishes, and there would be like 2 wine glasses.
And you stupid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't think
Antonia.
anything of it. Obviously, I was stupid.
Yeah, but the good thing is how she find out. That's the juicy part of the story.
The juicy part is how I find out. So then my mom is bored because she wants to watch.
You go with the juicy part. That's the best part ever.
So whatever. Then it comes. Obviously, it's my birthday. He plans this huge elaborate surprise of my
It was
birthday.
your 25th birthday. 25.
No,
you turned 25 at that time.
Oh yeah, it was my 25th birthday. He throws this huge
surprise party
in front
for
of
you.
all of my friends.
Which I thought it was so thoughtful
But
of
the
him.
funny part about this is, remember I had gotten, this was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. I had gotten stuck in New York because of a snowstorm, and I stayed at his brother's house.
Oh, true.
Because my flight got canceled on the way back from the holidays.
And they pick you up, and they
December.
were so nice with you.
So, I mean, incredible family. I stayed there, but then I remember laying in bed, and obviously he was not there because he was already in DC and I got stuck in New York. So his family did me the favor of letting me stay there. And I remember laying in bed and I'd be like, what the F am I doing? Like, when I turned 25, my frontal lobe was closed. Like, her decision-making was on par, frontal lobe closed. I was like, what the? My birthday is December 28th. It's like after New Year's. I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, this man does not treat me good. He is an asshole.
It took her so many years to realize. The frontal, ¿cómo se dice? Frontal lobe?
Yeah. It took me so many years to realize that. Like, he's literally an asshole. What am I doing? And this, either we're going to be together or we're going to break up. Because I'm 25. I don't have time to waste. I'm dating to marry. Like, what is going on? So then I get back to DC. And then I bring up basically this. Like, I'm like, I would love for you to see my family. I spent so much time with your family. I would love for you to hang out with my family.
This is it. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, we have to, like, either we're together or whatever, blah, blah. Like, you treat me like a girlfriend. You don't want me to be a girlfriend, whatever. Key parts of the story is also I had his car parked at my apartment and I paid the parking, but he would let me use the car anytime I wanted.
Yeah, it was like a trade thing.
It was like,
I use the car and
because parking in DC is expensive. No, it wasn't a trade. It was a way for him to keep control over me.
well, of course, that was what it was.
And so he had given me basically
He
his
let you
car
use his
to
car all the
use
time.
all the time.
But he didn't want to have a relationship with you. But you know what? You can keep the car. So that was
But you know what? You can keep the car. So then he says, you know what? I still don't want a relationship. Like, I don't know. And I'm obviously so confused. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is not it, because 2 days later he calls me and tells me that he has a surprise for me that weekend. So in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe he thought things through.
Yeah.
Finally, we're going to be together. Finally, whatever, blah, blah. That surprise, as I walk into the restaurant of where we had our first date and all my friends are there who also don't like this man, but you know, they went for me. All my friends are there and he threw me this huge thing. I was like, oh my gosh, finally, page turned. Maybe he finally wants a relationship again. The next week comes around. We talk on Monday. He doesn't want a relationship. But he did a huge, elaborate, like, love bombing thing. Still doesn't want a relationship. And so then I was like, okay, then this is it. But he still let me keep his car because he knew how much I used it, or he wanted full control over me.
Yeah, that's what it was. I told her, you know what? He wants you to keep, he says, we don't have a relationship, but you can have the car. It's because he can control you that way. So whenever he wants you, he'll take you, period.
Yes. And then actually a key detail about the car is it was like October, Halloween time before this happened. And I had the car in October of because at this time it was 2022. In 2021, when he had already moved to DC, I had the car. And one day he's like, hey, can I use the car? Listen to this story.
Yeah, this is the good part.
This is when things start coming together. He goes, hey, can I use the car? Because this Italian man who I used to work with or something like that and his wife are going through a divorce. They're going through a divorce. I want to take their kids to a drive-in movie. I'm going to pick them up, take the kids off their backs, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a nice man. Obviously, he didn't invite me, but I was like, what a nice man, whatever, blah, blah.
Well, he's so nice with his friend.
He got a flat tire that night too, so that's karma.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, he brings me back the car the next day. And of course, there's popcorn everywhere. There's drinks, whatever. Who cleans it? I
the stupid one.
Because I'm the one that has a car, so I obviously cleaned the car.
After he used the car.
With
these supposedly not poor kids.
Poor
kids that are going
all
through the
stuff,
divorce.
They're going through the divorce, whatever. He's going to use the car, blah, 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 blah. So then after this whole birthday thing happened, fast forward January, we end the relationship, and then it's still like...
Yeah, because Antonia says, listen, I told to Antonia, he's confusing you. You need to
like,
put a stop on
this is it. Like, that's it. And then he still like would try and reach out, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Then I was making more money at the time because I had a job at Facebook. And obviously he would always make these small comments about how I made more money than he did.
Yeah, because he's like, he didn't like that
And
part.
he would always like make these comments and then be like, oh, it's not like I'm unhappy for you or I don't support that. But obviously it was like weird. But anyway, May comes around and it's actually Memorial Day weekend. Or is it Labor Day that comes?
I don't remember, but
it was one of a long weekend, and we had just gone in a fight, and I was like, you know what? I can't have him like keep this car over my head, because it felt like he would always keep the car over my head. The fact that I would use it all the time, and then we would get in a fight, and it was just awkward. So I was like, I'm gonna go buy my own car
and get yours.
And here's your car. I'm gonna buy my own car. What did I buy? I bought a 2023 Volkswagen Jetta. Brand new
that she drove from St. Augustine to Dallas.
No, not to Dallas.
To DC. DC, sorry.
That I drove from St. Augustine to DC, and it's all on my own, whatever, blah, blah.
And you say, I don't want anything to do with this guy. He can take his car.
I don't want anything to do with him.
I was so happy about it.
Yeah. I was very, very independent, whatever, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was so happy about that I said, I'm going to go with you to DC so you don't drive by yourself. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We went together.
So my mom went with me to drive to DC with his car.
So,
blah,
and
blah.
he would cut any type of relationship or something with this guy. So you take your car, you can put your car in your butt if you want it. Goodbye. So I was so happy about it.
So whatever. And then it's like June, and we're obviously really not talking
at all.
And then it's like June and his niece is born and he calls me and it's like, you're the only person I want to celebrate with. Oh my gosh. And I was like, no. Like,
no.
We're not
go
celebrating
and celebrate by
together. Like
yourself.
literally go celebrate yourself. Like this is not a thing. Like bye. So then whatever. That
because he
happens.
always thought he could call you whenever he wanted. And you always was there. So it was your fault.
Yeah. So that happens. And at this point I'm like,
just to remind you.
trying to date other people. And then who do I reconnect with? I reconnect with Elio. And from the second first day, because Elio and I knew each other in college, but from the first day, I knew that this was an incredible man. It's who I'm going to be with.
That was sent by God.
Literally sent by God. Elio was sent by God, truly. And so then we start dating. So then I'm like, I don't want anything to ruin this relationship, this new healthy relationship that I'm in. So I took this guy off everything. And then he freaks out, starts calling me. And then I had been so manipulated and in a narcissistic relationship for such a long time that I had to like muster up what the heck I was going to say. And at the time I was working for Facebook, so it wouldn't be unbeknownst that I would get a call from an unknown caller. And my dumbass, I answer the phone. And I'm like, good afternoon, this is Antonia. And it's him. Why are you not being amicable? All this stuff, blah, blah. I wanted to end on good terms, blah, blah. And then I just hear him out and I was like, look, the chapters we had were great, feeding the beast. But those chapters are closed and I need to move on with my life. That's it. Then it just keeps going on and on. And then the last word that I said, I was like, I'm with somebody new now. And out of respect for them, you need to never call me back again. That was the end of it.
And he says, okay, Antonia. And that was it.
Okay, Antonia.
Goodbye. That was it. That's
the last I heard from him
until he comes the best part.
The next year comes, or was it that spring? No. Yes,
no, it was many months after.
No, it was like the next spring comes around.
Something. Yeah, it was almost like a year after.
And do you all know those dating, the dating Facebook profiles that are like
the girls do?
Are we dating the same man in DC?
Oh, have you ever dated this guy? It was something like that. It was a group.
It was a group on Facebook called Are We Dating the Same Man in DC? And he gets posted in the group.
With a picture, a whole picture of him.
A whole ass picture. Like,
and girls
does this man have any red flags? Question mark.
My God.
And then one of my good friends commented and was like, oh yeah, I'll never forget that he made my friend feel like shit for making more money than he did. Number one. And then number two, another girl comments.
And then number three, another girl comment. And another one. And it was crazy.
Well, this other girl commented it, and it's from what she was commenting, she was like trying to look for answers as to if he was dating me at the same time that he was dating her. Because no. The girl, she was feeling so bad because she wrote, wait, I have to put another battery.
Oh my gosh.
This is the best part about this story.
This is the best part.
So the best part about this story is
this Facebook group. And she says,
this girl comments and she seems hurt.
She was so hurt because she says, I remember that. I remember that. And actually, I think I have them somewhere.
Actually, no, I think I have the red.
And she says, all the time, I felt so crazy. I thought everything was in my mind.
You're skipping details.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, because there's way more details before that.
And then I saw, when Antonia was sending me this, that I couldn't even believe it. I said, Antonia, ask her, when was she going out with him? Because I have the suspicious it coincide with you. And Antonia says, oh my gosh, you think? Ask her.
Okay, listen
surprise.
to this. I literally have the red receipts here. Are we dating the same guy? ? Washington, D.C.
This is the Facebook group.
My friend comments, who also sent me a picture of this group because I wasn't in it at that time. She's like, oh my gosh, look at this. My friend commented, she goes, he dated my friend for a while and I could not stand the way he loves to hear himself talk. Skull emoji, skull emoji, skull emoji. Textbook narcissist. I will never forget how he made my friend feel bad for making more money at her job than he did after his master's. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Which is true because he always complained about his job, that he always wanted a new one, whatever, blah, blah.
Yeah, because he's so controlling, so.
The group member who posted anonymously, OMG, bye. These are enough red flags for me. LOL. Thank you for letting me know, girl. And then this other girl comments, she goes, I wish this page existed before we started dating. Wasted almost a year with him. And I'm looking at the dates that she posted this, and I was like, if you wasted almost a year with him, then there was overlap.
Exactly.
There was overlap.
It was an overlap.
So let me
and the poor girl, she was so brave.
She she put a whole eulogy on this
And
Facebook
she was
group.
so broken.
So broke. I felt so bad for her because at this point, obviously, I moved on in a new relationship, happier than ever, thinking like, oh my gosh, that dude disgusting. Don't care. She is so hurt. And I just like, as a woman, I felt for her because I was so hurt for a long time too. And she goes, I want to start off by saying that I never wish to speak ill of somebody. However, this man really hurt me and I don't know where to start. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
She goes, during our relationship, he misled me on multiple occasions and there's a possibility that he cheated on me.
Possibility.
He often went days without contacting me or a month without seeing me because he was busy with work or visiting family. The same excuses he would give me. While I understand that life can get hectic, it felt like he wasn't putting in the same amount of effort I was. He went on a work trip to another country, as he would always do. This is Antonia talking. As he would always go on work trips to another country.
So that's your answer to her.
No, I'm reading her.
Oh,
her
you're
post.
still reading her?
Yeah. So
okay.
He went on a work trip to another country, but I later found out that he was with another woman who was also supposed, quote unquote, work trip at the. No,
you were the only.
I wasn't the girl.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I wasn't the girl at this time. Supposed work trip at the same location at the same time, and she was just his friend. But I remember when he went on that trip because we were talking together.
Oh my gosh.
That was a trip. It was like fall of when he had just moved to DC and he went to Ireland. And I remember that. And that's why when I read that, I was like, oh no, he was talking to 3 different girls at the same time.
Oh my gosh, what an asshole.
During the
Sorry,
trip,
my vocabulary.
During the trip, he posted a picture which revealed a noticeable bruise on his neck. And I remember because I noticed
disgusting.
I noticed the same thing from this picture.
Like a teenager in high school.
The same thing from this picture. And that is why when I read this, I was like, he was dating both her and I at the same time. This was fall of 2022 that he went.
My God.
He had just moved to DC. I had just unpacked his apartment. And then that Thanksgiving, November, he went to Ireland.
This is what a narcissist does. Guys, be aware, please.
During the trip, he posted a picture which revealed a noticeable bruise on his neck. Initially, it didn't bother me, but after discovering he was with another woman on the trip, I became suspicious of the bruise. It was obvious that he tried to blur it in the photo. When I confronted him about it, he dismissed any concerns and labeled me as crazy, as he would do.
Exactly, because that's what
always label. Guys,
yeah.
if you are
always
dating
crazy.
a narcissist and they're labeling the past women they were with as crazy, there's only one common denominator there, and it's the man that you're dating.
Exactly. And when they make you feel crazy, it's because it's their issue. They are the issue.
She goes, I acknowledged our flaws, but that was the tipping of the iceberg for our relationship. So then I was like, this girl's super hurt. And also there was overlap. So I'm chismosa.
And she was feeling like maybe she was wondering if everything was on her mind or if it was true. You know, that's the sad part. And Antonia says, Mom, I think I'm going to write to this girl because she needs to know it was not on her mind. She was right.
I wanted to validate her feelings as a woman because the whole relationship, I also felt crazy for thinking all these things that he was with other women because he would make me feel
like it's all in your imagination.
Regardless if we were together or not, he would really make me feel like I was absolutely insane and that I had issues. And I could tell this girl also felt that same way. So I was like, let me validate her feelings and message her. So I message her on Facebook Messenger. I have the red receipts. And she's like, I felt so bad for her because all that I was trying to do was
try to validate her feelings and not make.
Yes.
I mean, at least she can move on knowing that she wasn't crazy as he make her feel, you know, because he always have an excuse for something.
Always had an. So wait, I'm gonna start off by the message that I
sent to her.
I was like, hey girl, this is so random, but I'm just his friend. We dated from. Mom, it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm just not gonna say this dude's name.
Okay.
Hey girl, this is so random, but I guess I'm not gonna say her name because it doesn't really matter. But whatever. We dated from April 2029 to January 2022. And I told myself I wasn't going to reach out because I really don't care anymore. But your post made me feel so validated just because I thought I was so crazy. Anyway, I wish you the best. You're not crazy. You deserve to feel validated too. I would go, you're not crazy and you deserve to feel validated too. I never commented because I don't like things to be, I don't like to be public about these things.
Till now.
And she goes, wait, ... What? Question mark. I started dating him October 2021.
See? Oh my gosh. How can you, how, this is my question. How come a guy can go to bed and sleep well doing this type of thing. You are a bad soul if you do that. You are a bad soul. You don't care about people's feeling at all.
And she goes, TBH, the whole time I had a feeling he was cheating, but I never had proof. Like, there was just something off. So who the F knows who else he was dating? OMG, I'm in shock right now. Seriously, F him. Piece of S. I feel really, obviously, bad for her because I could tell she was super hurt. And I go, yeah, I'm not surprised. I was blind deep in love. So, like, I chose to ignore the red flags. It was hard because I loved his family. So that kept me going. But at one point, enough is enough. I always felt so crazy and insane. And now I'm finally at peace, honestly. I go, did he ever take you to meet his family? And she was like, wow, I'm sorry that happened to you. Interesting. He said he never brought his girlfriends around his family because they were so
conservative and
pretty conservative.
They were so traditional.
So very
that was
traditional.
his word. Very traditional. So they don't like to meet
girlfriends
that are not serious.
She goes, but I have a feeling he had a girlfriend in New York. LOL. He played it so well on the app. How'd you guys end it? He was so good at lying.
Really?
And I told her that it was a lie that he didn't bring girlfriends to meet his family, but maybe I was the only person who had went. But I told her how I met his nonna, and then we started getting into talking, and she's like super hurt, completely speechless. And then I talk about the car, and she was like, that's why he was never able to drive, obviously because I had his car. His tire popped, and that's when in my head I was like, did his tire pop the day at a drive-in theater when he was supposed to be taking these kids? And he took this girl and had me clean the car?
Kids that never existed because he went with her to the movies. Oh my gosh.
And I go, OMG girl, was this at a drive-in movie? She goes, yes, LMFAO. We went to an outdoor movie theater. I was like, he told me he was taking coworkers' kids to go watch a movie.
See, a liar, you always find a liar. Always. My mom said in Spanish to me, it's always easier to find a liar than a theft, you say?
Than a thief. But then this is a part where, and then this is so true for every narcissist, is that this man was always hell-bent on the fact that he was a man of his word.
Oh, yeah.
Always so, every time you got in an argument,
he was so
I'm a man
honest.
of my word. And I'm honest, and I would never lie. And he would say the same things to her when they would fight, because we talked about it. And then he never would take accountability for his actions. But after talking to her, I felt so validated, like, you know what, I'm not insane.
And I never was. The guy was completely nuts.
So
nuts. A bad soul. He was a bad soul.
A super bad soul. So, but then the story gets better.
It gets better.
Because he then finds out that he was posted in this group.
No, because she sent you a recording because she gets so mad after all this that she called him.
This girl, not me.
This girl, yeah.
This girl, she's so hurt. She calls him out on it. And I told her, look, whatever you want to do, because she's like, I'm going to make his life miserable. And I do not care enough about him to do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like,
I moved on already.
I'm long moved on. Like, I am in a relationship with a man who I am actually going to marry.
Yeah, and I don't care about his life. And I do not care about his life or anything. So if there's any way that you want to bring closure to yourself, keep me out of it. Keep my name out, because I know what this man was going to blow me up too. So she was like, no, she obviously was so hurt. I don't know what she said to him, but she sent me a recording of him basically saving himself from this whole lie that we just told. Yeah, because she confronted him.
He's yelling at her, yelling on some wild stuff.
How can you? Because in his mind, and it sounds like Antonia make up all this story to her. That's how it sounded. You know, he was saying, how can you believe this girl? She's trying to make me look bad in front of everyone, and we haven't talked in years already, and she's a liar. And I mean, and she recorded all that and sent it to Antonia. And Antonia said, keep me out of this. I don't want to know anything about that. This is it.
This is
I mean, the guy.
But then I guess he ends up blocking her. I don't know.
Did she?
He ends up blocking her because she Venmo'd him a cent and said, I've talked to Antonia. And that's when my name came in the conversation. And that's when he started blowing me up.
Oh, okay.
She Venmo'd him a cent, one single cent on Venmo.
Saying this is what you are.
I'm trying to find this conversation with this girl. But she Venmo'd him 1 cent.
Saying this is what you deserve something like that. That's how you are.
It was like I'm Venmoing you 1 cent because you're worth nothing more. And I've talked to Antonia. I know everything. And that's when my phone starts blowing up. He's calling me on no caller ID like 7 times. After I told her to keep me out of it. So that was
and
not
you
very
didn't talk
cool.
to him
I
at
never
all.
talked to him. To this day, I never talked to him. He blew me up. And then he tried calling me from his sister-in-law's phone. So I would pick up the phone. But I was like, I'm definitely not going to pick up the phone. So
because in his mind, everything was created by Antonia. He didn't know a thing about this group, Facebook group.
Yeah, he didn't know anything.
So since Antonia was telling me everything, and I knew everything, and I was like, Antonia, you should talk. At the beginning, I said, Antonia, talk to him because I don't want him to think, and I don't think it's okay for him to think that you created all this when you really moved on and you don't want to know anything about it. And you told this girl that you don't want your name to be in the middle.
Yeah, I told her that I didn't want to be in the middle, and she wanted to like ruin his life together. And I was like, look, I'm not there. Like, I don't want
I moved on. I don't care about him.
I do not care about this, but I just wanted to offer you closure, woman to woman, for that situation and validate you and let you know that you're not crazy.
Yeah, but whatever you decide to do, leave
me out. Yeah. And so then she, so whatever, she had Venmoed him a cent, and he starts blowing me up. And, then I'm telling my mom, I'm like, look, I'm so stressed out right now with this whole situation. Like, I'm working. I do not have time to be dealing with this. This is exactly what she wrote in her Venmo to him. Listen, you F-face. Funny how you blocked me on everything. You made me feel like I was crazy, but all along, it was you. I've already spoken to Antonia, you POS. And I was like, oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, why
you
she
really thought you could
named
fool us, you narcissistic asshole. LOL. Here's a cent because you aren't worth more than that. And then whatever. That's when he blew up my phone and blah, blah. And I'm so stressed out. I'm texting my mom play by play. Like, what's going on? Get this man off my back. Like, I don't care, whatever, blah, blah. She sends me a voice recording of him yelling at her, all this stuff, like super bad. It's actually really, really,
yeah. The guy
really,
was trying to defend himself, but in all because I heard the recording, and all of the recording, it seems like it was Antonia's fault. She invented all this, that she called this girl and make up all this story. That's what he was defending himself with. And I said, you know what?
Oh, because you told him that he tried, because I told my mom to say something to him.
No, and I said, no, because I said, Antonia, you should pick up the phone and tell him what is going on.
He told her.
And Antonia says, I don't want to talk to him at all. And I said, well, he's believing in his mind that this is all about you.
That I had posted, he like twisted something in his head that I was creating this whole drama because I'm not happy in my relationship anymore to try and save himself with this girl.
Yeah, because and saying like it's all your fault. It's
and
what
then
you
it's
created.
all my fault and whatever, blah blah. And I was like, oh my gosh. So
and I was like, Antonia, it's not fair. I don't want him to think that it's you when this was, you know, something that God did, a Facebook group where he came up. He should know that he's in all freaking Facebook. And this girl created another Facebook where he's from to his city town.
Yeah.
Putting him.
She put watch out for this dog.
Exactly.
And she put a picture of him.
So she did whatever it takes to make him look bad. So and Antonia says, well, I'm not gonna talk to him. I don't wanna know anything. I said, well, I'm gonna tell him. So I sent him a text.
A DM.
And I say, listen.
Anyway, we'll block that out.
Listen, Roberto. Roberto Maduro. This is it. Your picture and your face is all over Facebook. All over Facebook. This is if you don't know, each girl is looking at you, and every single girl.
No, Mom, I have the exact message. This is what my mom sent to him. Hey, I'm reaching out. Oh, I'll delete that part. Okay, this is what my mom said. Hey, Roberto. I'm reaching out without Antonia knowing. She will kill me. But as a mother, I just want to let you know that your name, picture, and story about you and other girls were posted in a Facebook group of thousands of women. This is how we all knew about it. Whatever drama you are in, she has nothing to do with. Please do not contact her. She's in a different world now and has been long moved on. As a mother's advice, you need to be careful because girls do crazy things like post you in private life and post you and your private life info in a Facebook group of thousands of people. Wish you the best, but please don't involve her in any of your affairs or lies. She has nothing to do with it.
And I was thinking, is this guy that dumb that he doesn't care about his future, professional future? I mean, how he will look in front. Everybody will know about him. That's what I was like, is this guy that stupid? I mean, come on.
And then you're like, as Anto said, she will kill me if as Anto said, she will kill me if she knows I reached out to you, but I hate to see her stressed out again when she has nothing to do with it.
Exactly. So he called me.
But then he tries to call her.
Yeah, because
but listen to his response. His response is Mrs. Pasalacqua. First of all, not even her last name, but whatever.
Yeah, but no, he was super respectful.
Mrs. Pasalacqua, thank you so much for sending this to me. This is This is crazy. Would you mind if I give you a quick call? I won't bother Antonia as I don't ever want to be a bother to her and genuinely want her to be happy.
Exactly.
I would just like to talk to you for 2 minutes and also properly thank you. Thank you for what?
For what? So listen, for warning him that he's been so stupid.
So then he tries calling her.
Yeah, and I didn't pick up the phone and I said,
because at this time he tried calling me 7 times. I didn't pick up the phone and my mom was like, don't worry. I appreciate you wanting to don't worry, Roberto. My mom says, don't worry, Roberto. I appreciate you wanting to give me a call, but I am at a boring meeting now. I think you meant board meeting.
Board meeting?
You said boring meeting now. Okay. Let's just leave all this in the past. Wish you the best. And well, that was the end of that narcissistic relationship. And to this day,
we never knew anything about him, thank God.
About him.
So if this experience
served me for anything.
Use it, be aware.
But I'm so grateful for him because I would not be with the incredible man I am with today had it not been for
and appreciate
that. And appreciate the man I'm with and love the man I'm with had
and
it
know
not been
exactly what you want and God
for this
send you
crazy experience.
Yeah, and I mean, Elio is an amazing guy, human being, boyfriend, everything.
Yeah, he's an incredible man. So thank God I went through that experience, even though I wish it was not as long.
Yeah, no, I mean, you learn a lot. At least let's see the positive part is that you learn what you don't want on a man, at least. Because that guy was cuckoo. And guys, if you're going in a relationship where you feel like you're the crazy one
you're
all
not
the time,
crazy.
you're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy. Just be aware and say goodbye to this guy. To any traumatic relationship.
Save
is
yourself
not worth
from
it.
the dogs out there.
Yeah, and save your life. And life is too short.
Because I wasted so many years.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
I was so anxious.
Yeah, don't waste your time. Life is too short. Yeah. So that was it.
Wasn't that the cherry on top?
Yeah.
Shit, that was a whole life.
Yeah, the end was like, oh my gosh, this soap opera.
Yeah, whatever. That was my toxic relationship. And everybody,
if you need to know more or any other topic that we can talk about, let us know.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this podcast and give us a rating. And we are so grateful for you all. This is Better in Heels. I'm Antonia Pasalacqua.
And Carolina Erlandsen and Better in Heels. Everything.
We are the hosts of Better in Heels. We're working on the outro. But
bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.